Imagine a king so powerful, so dangerous, that his own kingdom fears him, not because he's cruel, but because he's impossible to predict. He can't feel love, and that makes him the most terrifying ruler alive. But what happens when one woman makes him feel something he shouldn't be able to feel? Something that doesn't make sense, something that terrifies even him. This is the story of a man with a curse he doesn't want to break, and a woman he can't let go of. 500 years ago, a Fey king was cursed by a witch he refused to love. Not because he was cruel, but because he was incapable of it. His magical nature, the source of his immortal power, made emotions impossible. Love, loyalty, compassion, these were weaknesses he simply didn't possess. They called him the Heartless King. And for centuries, this curse was perfect. It made him unstoppable. Enemies couldn't manipulate him through love. Allies couldn't demand loyalty through sentiment. He ruled with pure logic and raw power. His kingdom thrived under his rule, not because they loved him, but because they feared the consequences of betrayal. But 500 years of watching others feel, of watching people cry, laugh, fall desperately into love, something changed. Not in his heart. He had no heart to change. But in his obsession, a prophecy emerged. Ancient texts spoke of a woman who could break the Heartless King's curse. Not through love, that was impossible, but through choice, through choosing him anyway. Thousands of women came to the kingdom, hoping to be the one. But the king didn't care. He sent them away with indifference. He couldn't feel their hopes. He couldn't feel their heartbreak. He felt nothing. Then, in the spring of the 501st year of his rule, a woman arrived who was different. Not because she was trying to save him, not because she wanted to break a curse. She arrived as a prisoner of war. Her father was a human general who challenged the Fey kingdom. He lost. In the peace treaty, she was sent to the palace as collateral to keep her father's surrender permanent. If he betrayed the king, she would pay the price. Her name was Ilara, and she was absolutely, completely ordinary. He looked at her once, then he looked away. For him, she was just another bargaining chip, just another human breathing air in his castle. But Ilara had been trained by her general father to be a warrior, a strategist, and a survivor. And when she realized the king felt nothing for her, not attraction, not anger, not even acknowledgement, something shifted in her approach. Instead of trying to seduce him or appeal to his emotions he didn't have, Ilara challenged him intellectually, strategically. She would sit in the throne room and ask him questions about his kingdom, not flirtatiously, genuinely. Why do your guards stand in that formation? It leaves a vulnerability on the eastern flank. Your trade agreement with the northern territories undervalues your resources. You could demand twice as much. That courtier is skimming wealth from your treasury. Everyone knows. Why haven't you punished him? And the Heartless King, he listened. For the first time in 5 centuries, he found something interesting. Not love, not attraction, just interest. Her mind was sharp, her observations were correct, and more importantly, she wasn't asking for anything from him emotionally. She wasn't trying to make him feel. She was just there, real, present, challenging. Days became weeks. She wasn't kept in a prison cell. She moved through the castle freely, and every day she found him. Every day she offered him something new, a question, an observation, a perspective he'd never considered. The king began to expect her presence. When she wasn't there, something felt wrong, incomplete. And when she was there, he felt something he couldn't name. Not love, he was incapable of that, but something equally powerful. The court began to notice. The Heartless King was waiting for the prisoner girl. The Heartless King was asking about her. The Heartless King was thinking about her. Then came the night that changed everything. Alara discovered the truth about her father. The peace he'd sworn to maintain, it was a lie. In secret, he was building an army, gathering allies, planning to overthrow the Fey King and take the kingdom for himself. And when his rebellion was ready, Alara, his own daughter, would be sacrificed as a final insult. She faced an impossible choice: tell the king and betray her own father, or stay silent and let the kingdom and everyone in it fall to destruction. She found him alone in the throne room, and for the first time, she wasn't challenging him with strategy or wit. She was breaking, telling him everything: her father's betrayal, the rebellion, the fact that she had been used her entire life as a pawn. "Why are you telling me this?" the king asked, his voice emotionless as always. "Because," Alara said, "I can't lie to you anymore. I can't pretend. I came here as a prisoner, and now I'm choosing to stay. Not because of a curse, not because I'm trying to save you, but because you're the only person who's ever asked me who I am instead of what I can do for them." And the king stood. For the first time, his immortal face showed something. Not love, he couldn't feel love, but need, raw, terrified need. "I don't understand this," he said. "I cannot love you. My curse forbids it. But I need you in a way that terrifies me. When you're not near, I'm distracted, incomplete. When you're near, everything makes sense. I would burn this kingdom down if it meant keeping you. Is that love, or is it obsession?" Alara looked at him, really looked at him, and she saw the truth. He wasn't asking to be healed. He was asking to understand what he was feeling. "Maybe," she whispered, "it's both." But the moment she told him about her father's rebellion, everything changed. The king didn't hesitate. He didn't feel anger. He couldn't. But he felt protection, obsession, the need to keep her safe. He mobilized his armies. He destroyed her father's rebellion before it could even begin. He brought the generals to her, kneeling, broken, begging for mercy. "Should I execute them?" he asked her, cold, patient, waiting for her command. And Alara realized something terrifying. He wasn't asking for justice. He was asking what would make her happy. He was willing to commit atrocities to ensure her satisfaction. Alara had walked into a nightmare of her own creation. She'd wanted to be chosen, to be seen, and she had been, but not as a person, as a possession, a thing the Heartless King had become obsessed with, a thing he would destroy worlds for. Because his obsession wasn't love, and it wasn't kindness. It was pure, absolute need. The need to keep her, to control her, to ensure she never left him. "If I asked you to leave," Alara said to him one night, terrified of the answer, "would you let me go?" The king was silent for a long time, and his silence was the answer. "No," he finally said, "I would not. I would follow you across any realm. I would burn any kingdom. I would sacrifice anything, because my existence without you is incomplete, painful, and I cannot tolerate pain, Alara. I've been immortal for 500 years, and pain is the only thing I've never experienced. You have made me feel pain, and I will not let that happen. And this is where Alara faces the final impossible question. Does she stay with a man who can't love her but needs her desperately? A man so obsessed that he's willing to commit atrocities to keep her? Or does she run, knowing that his obsession might destroy her, but also knowing that staying might turn her into a monster herself? Because the Heartless King's power is intoxicating, his attention is absolute. And there's a part of her, a small, dangerous part, that likes being needed that completely. So which will she choose? Freedom from a man who's obsessed with her? Or the intoxicating, terrifying reality of being the only thing a 500-year-old impossible king has ever wanted? That's where their story hangs, in the balance between love and obsession, between freedom and possession, between becoming his cure or becoming his curse.